What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the episode of the In the Hot Seat podcast. And in this week's episode, I will be talking about Impact Wrestling for Hard to Kill, which happened last night. Gonna give my thoughts a little later on, but get right down to it. Where we had two matches on the kickoff of the pre-show for this one for them. Where we had Yuya in this one, Angel's Bender, Delirious, Mike Bailey, Mike Jackson, which is interesting on this one. Uh, and as well Kenny King actually getting involved but wasn't in the match. Dealing with Kushida on this one, so those two going at it, and Kushida actually winning, which is really cool to actually see him getting the win. So I'm sure him and Kenny King will deal with the feud ongoing. We have the X Division Championship on the line, dealing with Trey Miguel and so Black Taurus, where Trey Miguel was able to keep the X Division Championship and move on from Black Taurus there. And then we get into the main card and being able to deal with the Impact World title match, which was on first. Full Metal Mayhem dealing with Josh Alexander and as well with Bully Ray. A lot of elements getting involved. Bully Ray attacking Josh Alexander before basically the match even got started. Obviously, the thumbtacks of these two getting a bloody battle for sure. After all the bullshit each of them been through, most likely Josh Alexander. We see Tommy Dreamer get involved, almost siding with Bully Ray, but dealing with Josh Alexander. Bully Ray and his recent tag team partners, them actually trying to help out Bully Ray the most that they can. We saw Josh Alexander's wife get involved in having her payback, and after all the hell that she's been through with Josh Alexander, that was really awesome and dope to see. And as well, Josh Alexander keeping the world title, which is really awesome, and having his payback there. So we'll see where things will go from here on out. The Impact World Tag Team titles online. Chris Sabin and Shelley, the Motor City Machine Guns, dealing with Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, Ethan Rito, and returning Ace Austin, Chris Bay, all in this one. Basically elimination style and having the Motor City Machine Guns standing tall on that, which is fine. So we'll see who will be able to stop them next. That remains to be seen. The Impact Digital Media Championship on the line, Joe Hendry and Joe Moose. This was interesting when we saw Moose actually get the title, but then Santino getting involved because Scott D'Amore was taken out by Bully Ray and as well being in charge for Santino. Interesting, basically, to see him in that role, so that was interesting there. And he had the match restart. The match restarted, and we did have Joe Hendry regain the Digital Media Championship in the same night. And then we got the Knockouts #1 Contenders match, Master Slamovich dealing with Deanna Perrazzo, Taylor Wilde, and Killer Kelly. Very interesting to see who would be able to stand tall there. I was going more so for Killer Kelly. I thought it would have been really cool to see her win, but Masha was able to win, get to be #1 contender, and we'll see a little later just to see who will be facing her later on. Then we get into the Falls Count Anywhere match. Steve Macklin and Rich Swann. These two are able to go into the parking lot and use the weapons to their advantage. Steve Macklin getting the win, and as well, I'm sure he'll be able to deal with Josh Alexander for the world title finally, hopefully, at New Year's Revolution. That would be really cool to see. Eddie Edwards dealing with Jonathan Gresham. PCO basically being the factor and getting into the head of Eddie Edwards on that. So that was also involved, even though he wasn't out there. Eddie Edwards was able to get the win, and then we saw PCO come back, basically in a way, I guess, reminding that for Eddie Edwards that PCO wants to face him. So I can see that at New Year's Revolution. And then I got a championship match, the world title, women's world title between Mickie James and as well Jordan Grace in this one, and the last rodeo. The nerves are definitely real for this one and emotional. Mickie James got the special entrance. We saw her family there. It was kind of similar to the Ric Flair career-threatening matches for Ric Flair's final match for WWE going to WrestleMania 24 dealing with Shawn Michaels. So with each match leading up to this point, she could have lost, and we probably would have seen her face Jordan Grace. It could have been someone else. So these two giving out a war, and Mickie James going in fast, and as well these two going back and forth. Jordan Grace almost at times was able to try and keep the title. I was also thinking that Mickie James lost. She could have went to the Royal Rumble in 2 weeks, won that, and faced Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown women's title at WrestleMania, and then end her career there in the WWE. But Mickey James actually comes back and gets the title. So kind of similar when Trish had her last match and got the women's title. So that was really cool. And I know Trish was able to actually have the title vacated after that, so that could still happen with Mickey James. So I'm very happy for her and happy she was able to get the Knockouts title. So I wonder if she's going to still be dealing with Impact after this, or if the Knockouts title will be vacated, and then we'll see Masha face probably Jordan Grace for the vacated title, and if that remains to be seen. I saw a lot unanswered questions to be answered at some point, I'm sure. So, really enjoyable for Hard to Kill. I really enjoyed that, especially not only the main event, but the actual first match too, as well for Format of Mayhem. That's it for Hard to Kill, and as well for my thoughts. Definitely leave your thoughts in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube. For the audio side, if you're listening, you can definitely check out the Twitter page for the Nazi podcast, and as well continue the discussion on Twitter as well. So I got a lot to look forward to for this month for the podcast, for New Year's Revolution, the Royal Rumble, definitely for The Last of Us review as well. Not too sure if I'm going to be reviewing every single episode. I'll wait till the first season is done with and then review both the video game and as well the TV show as well for both video games and the TV show. So we'll see what happens next. And of course, pro wrestling during the pandemic, which will be happening Royal Rumble week, most likely on that Wednesday with two very special guests. It's going to be awesome. So definitely look out for that. So hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, leave a like, and as well hit the notification bell to stay notified in the Hot Seat podcast. That's been another episode for this time for this week, and as well enjoy the wrestling weekend and your upcoming week, and I'll catch you next time on the Hot Seat